Hi, this is James Ferrell with Ferrell, Maritime, and Mesothelioma Law Group. Today I'd like to talk to you about a question I'm asked frequently. The client will say, well, I smoked. Maybe I smoked for many years. Maybe I smoked a pack a day. Do I still have an asbestos-related lung cancer case? And the answer is maybe, but a qualified lawyer can help you figure this out. As you may know, lung cancer is a very frequently diagnosed disease. There are a little over 200,000 lung cancer cases diagnosed every year. Researchers, scientists, and doctors have found that people who smoked and were exposed to asbestos are much more likely to be diagnosed with lung cancer than those who smoked alone or were just exposed to asbestos and didn't smoke. So in this case, 2 and 2, the smoking and the asbestos exposure don't equal 4, it may equal 40. So you're almost 50 to 90 times more likely to develop lung cancer if you did both smoking and had asbestos exposure. Now, those of you who may have had asbestos exposure, asbestos was in many different products. They include thermal insulation, which would be pipe covering and block insulation. They were in a lot of automotive products, brake pads and clutches. They also were present in many building materials such as roofing shingles, joint compound. So there were many on drilling rigs. They were in drilling mud additives. So if you worked in a land or a sea-based drilling operation, if you worked as a drywaller, if you worked as an insulator, if you worked in a shipyard, if you worked in the Navy, if you worked as a pipe fitter, if you worked on a railroad, if you worked as an auto mechanic, or if you worked as a heavy truck mechanic, there is a chance that you may have been exposed to asbestos. Now, the one thing is that if you were a smoker and you quit more than 10 years prior to your diagnosis, the causal relationship or attribution of your lung cancer to the smoking is much lower. It's much less because the lungs have time to recover if you quit smoking more than 10 years prior to your diagnosis. The opposite is not true for asbestos. What happens in the asbestos situation, the asbestos fibers are breathed in through the nose and through the mouth and down into the lungs. At that time, there can be cellular changes. First of all, there's a scarring or irritation of the lungs, and then there are cellular changes that start to occur in the lungs that can result in cancer. So if you have or are diagnosed with asbestos-related lung cancer, we can make that determination. And the way we do that is we take one of your x-rays, and this is called a 2-view x-ray. It's a simple x-ray that your pulmonologist or your primary physician probably already did. And we send it to one of our expert pulmonologists, and they do what's a B read. And they very simply are looking at your x-ray, seeing if those asbestos changes, i.e. scarring of the lungs, have occurred, showing that you have an asbestos exposure. If that occurred, attributing or blaming, for lack of a better word, your lung cancer on your asbestos exposure is a given. So if you believe you are exposed to asbestos, whether or not you smoked, you developed lung cancer, you should consult an experienced lung cancer asbestos lawyer. This is James Ferrell for the Ferrell, Maritime, and Mesothelioma Law Group.